owns America? What we'll do on our Bloomberg, we'll ask who are the holders of GE? Who owns GE? We see Citigroup, Mellon Bank, JP Morgan, Deutsche Bank. It looks like all the banks own GE. We can scroll through GE forever, and we're very unlikely to find the name of a human being. They're holding on behalf of millions and millions of people who are invested in index funds. In the diffuse ownership structure that's grown up from pension plans, retirement plans, and mutual funds, the shareholdings of most American corporations are really widely diffused across a broad spectrum of America. I mean, that's really the story. Oh my goodness. Are my security people at lunch? Hello, Doug.
Hello.
Mark, this is Doug Henwood.
Hi.
He's
Hello.
a
Nice to meet you.
well-known economic commentator.
Well, ownership, it appears to be very dispersed. The New York Stock Exchange loves to say, everybody has a share of America. But in fact, behind all these bank names are really a small group of rich people, rich institutions that essentially run the economy, and the rest of us are just spectators.
I would contrast ownership in 1950 with ownership today. And you tell me, has it not spread?
Well, actually, if anything, we're a little more concentrated now than we were 1950. We're back at sort of 1929 levels of concentration. You have to start this history in the 1970s, when the period of great inflation, the U.S. had lost the Vietnam War. There were wildcat strikes. The Third World was in broad rebellion. From the point of view of the American elite, elites in general, but the American elite in particular, it looked like things were spinning out of control.
Just so you can see how the stock market performed. That was sort of the bottom.
So there was this great rightward move in politics. We saw the ascension of Paul Volcker at the Federal Reserve in 1979, the same year that Margaret Thatcher took power in Britain. Then we had Reagan take the presidency a couple of years later. And what they launched was a very successful class war from above. A very big crackdown on labor, union busting, paring back the welfare state. And at the same time, Wall Street was making its contribution to things. Their shareholders, who had been kind of sleeping for the previous several decades, awoke and started demanding much higher profits and much leaner and meaner ways of running corporate America. And August 1982 is when the bull market started.
Here's August 1982. We go from roughly 100 on the S&P to roughly 350.
That was based on a correct assumption that the class war had turned, that the elites were back in control, a period of rebellion in the Third World had been put down, and profits started rising. The profitability of American companies rose with some interruption pretty steadily from 1982 to 1997. That was the portion, I think, that was really the stock market and the financial markets in general were reacting rationally. But then the froth took over, and then the madness, the irrationality took over.